Hey Ram fam, it's time for Ramzone. Here's your host, Cam Allen.
Hey guys, welcome back to another season of Ramzone. It's the spring semester and we're going to get started with our first episode here in February. And we'll be started out with the hottest team at Angelo State right now. We've got head coach Travis Scott, and their team's 9-1. They're looking good so far this season. Coach, go ahead and start. How's it feeling going in 9-1?
Yeah, I mean, we're off to a really good start. Like you said, we went 5-0 last weekend in Conroe, playing really good competition. Played some teams that were ranked and teams that were in the playoffs last year. So that was definitely a good way to start the season and make a statement. And then we hosted our own tournament here, the Georgia NOLA McCorkle Challenge this past weekend. We went 4-1. The one game we lost was a 1-0 game. And we had a chance to score several times, but really in the seventh inning we had a great chance, and they just made plays. So, you know, you just had to tip your hat to Missouri Western there. The good thing about it, even though we lost that game, we didn't give it away. They just earned it. So we played well. We just, you know, they made one more play than we did.
In that Missouri Western game, there at the beginning, they scored in the first inning, and then zeros across the board for the rest of it. Just really good defense. What was standing out?
Well, we knew, you know, Cheyenne Floyd was in the circle for us, who's a returning All-American, and their kid, Sydney Rader, she's a fifth-year kid who's really good, and we knew that it was going to be a low-scoring game. And, you know, unfortunately, Cheyenne walked their leadoff hitter, and that ended up being the only run scored. But, you know, we really had good at-bats against the kid. She's a really good pitcher, a talented pitcher, but every time we squared one up and hit it hard, we hit it right to them. So, and they made every play. So, you know, it was a great game. It was a really well-played game to be as early as it is in the season.
And y'all played them twice, and y'all started on Friday with them, and you got a walk-off win on that one.
Yeah, we played really two really good games with them, and like you said, they had the lead going in the seventh. We got a leadoff walk, I think, from Paris, and she stole second, and then. I think we had a base hit or two we had a base hit to tie it up, and then a base hit to get to first and third, and fortunately for us, their kid let one go, and we were able to walk it off on a wild pitch. So, hey, we'll take it however we can get it.
And on these games early in the year, you're only through 10 games, but you've already got two close games. One went one way, one went the other. How is that getting those out of the way now so you know how your team looks later on?
Well, it's not getting them out of the way. It's just getting prepared for Lone Star Conference play, which starts this weekend. So that's what we told our team is we've played a tough schedule. We have, you know, gone out and played extremely well and won 8-0, won 5-0, you know, and pretty handily. And then we had to come from behind a couple of times this weekend and win games. So it was great preparation. Going into conference play. If you go out and you're just beating teams 15-1, you know, every game, then you get into Lone Star Conference play, and it's going to be a different deal. So our kids have been there, done that, and I think it'll really help us out when we get into tough situations in LSC.
And talking about Lone Star Conference play, I noticed on the schedule, every game is just double headers, no 3-game series this year. What's with the new rules on the scheduling?
Well, we've just gotten so big. We added Sul Ross State to us this year, so we have a 16-team conference now, and there's just not enough weekends in our season to be able to do it efficiently. So yeah, we're for the first time we're going into East-West divisions, kind of like basketball and volleyball. Maybe I don't think volleyball did it this year. I think basketball's still doing it, but we'll play a doubleheader against the East starting this weekend, and then once we finish out all the East teams, then we'll go into the West and we'll actually do a home and away. So we'll play them 4 times. But Lubbock Christian will be our travel partner. So whoever is here on Friday will be we'll go to Lubbock Christian and play on Sunday, and whoever's at Lubbock Christian on Friday will come down here and play Sunday. And when we go on the road, it'll be us and Lubbock going and playing those 2 teams. So you get 2 different opponents every weekend. But you know it's better than that 3-game midweek stuff that we had to do, because we were playing Tuesday, Wednesday, 3-game series. So academically, it was really tough on our kids and just a lot of travel. So instead of having to drive to every place, now you get 2 different locations. They're going to be similar in distance, so it's a little easier on the miles. And the older I get, the little more I realize those miles can wear on you.
And talking about the benefits, it may help travel. It also help the players with their academics.
Right.
What other benefits do you see in this new scheduling?
Probably just preparation and rest. You'll be able to actually give them Monday off. Will be our off day after the weekend, and then Tuesday can be a light day, knowing that we still have Wednesday to go get a good workout in, and possibly Thursday if you're at home, or if we wanted to, we could drive early and go practice at their field on Thursday before playing Friday. So I think the rest will really help, and then it allows coaching staffs to prepare, because it felt like last year that you just never were really able to review what you had done with the video and show it to your team. Instead, it was constant preparation for what's coming up in a day or two.
And then you talk about the preparation, and you said earlier how your team came in from Christmas break feeling good.
Yeah.
What did the off-season look like for you? I know the hours are kind of a struggle to work with when you're trying to practice.
Yeah, we only get 15 hours in the off-season, or in the fall, depending on what time of year we are, and then it goes down from 15 to 8. So it's one of those things where very few coaches are going to be happy with the amount of time that we're given, but we've learned how to make it work, and we're going to stay within the hour limits that are given to us. And it's when you have the coaching staff that is consistent, and my wife is the associate head coach, so we kind of know, okay, here's what works, here doesn't work. If we want to try something new, we can bounce it off each other and think about it, and then make that decision whether to implement it or not. But our girls really did a good job of preparing, and we had a really good fall. We do have 10 seniors out of 18 players, so they should be able to prepare, because they've been there and done that, and there shouldn't be a big learning curve. But I'm proud of the way our team has handled themselves and the way that they have prepared to go into this season.
And then talking about how you have 10 seniors this year, the roster looks a little more upperclassmen.
Oh, yeah.
How does that maybe affect your recruiting that you'll be doing here soon?
Yeah, I did a lot of it in the summer and the fall. I spent a lot of time trying to replace these kids, and we've had some good success. We've got, I think, 6 incoming kids that'll be freshmen, and one junior college that we've got committed right now that she signed with us, and so we got 7 of them replaced, and then we're gonna need to fill the extra pieces with upperclassmen. So we'll either be looking to bring in more junior college kids or see what we can get out of the portal.
So whenever you have seniors that are leaving, you got a team full of upperclassmen, do you try to push more for the portal versus maybe high school?
No, I still think that to be able to develop a program where you have a culture and you bring in an identity and you grow in kids, that you need to start with the high school kids and try to get them to be in here for 4 years and buy into what we're doing, because if you're just living on transfers, it's constant turnover, and they've kind of got set in their ways on how to do something at another place, and you have to kind of break that and get them into your terminology and the way you do things, and that can be a battle sometimes. So there's a lot of coaches that are doing it successfully, but we're going to continue to rely on the high school kids first, and then we'll fill in the pieces with the junior college kids or transfer portal kids.
And then talking about some of these seniors you have on the roster this year, with being 9-1, looking at the numbers, I know the numbers aren't always everything, but your pitching numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, Cheyenne Floyd, through 25 innings, is at 33 strikeouts?
Yeah, she set the tone early last weekend in Houston. We threw her game 1 against Regis, who was the regional tournament team last year out of Colorado, and she struck out the first 13 batters that she faced. So that kind of set the tone for how the whole weekend was going to go. We only allowed 2 runs in those 5 games, so it wasn't just her. It was also Amelia Hathorn stepped up and had outstanding performances. Had a really good weekend this past weekend as well. Madeline Walco, another senior pitcher, has really stepped in or not stepped in. She did the same thing she did last year. She's just kind of that off-speed kid and relief pitcher, and she just throws people off balance. And then we were able to get a true freshman in Bree Waters, 3 or 4 innings last weekend, and she looked really sharp. And then Reagan Suture, who's a redshirt freshman for us, got her 3 or 4 innings. She got her first start this past Sunday. So we've gotten all 5 of them, and Ava Gunther is our starting third baseman. She also is a good pitcher. So we just haven't had to use her yet. So we're just trying to save her and let her focus on being our 2-hole hitter and third baseman right now.
And talking about Maddie Walco, or
Yeah.
I'm not too sure how to say
good.
that,
Yeah.
but she hasn't given up any earned runs so far this season. Her ERA is still sitting at 0.
Yeah.
How's that, being able to just have a reliever that you know she's going to go out there.
Yeah,
and do
she's
that.
so unique in what she does. You know, we go with Cheyenne throwing 61 to 63, 64, and then, you know, she comes in throwing at 48. And it's just really hard to stay back for hitters. And she has really good movement on it, gets a lot of easy ground balls, easy pop-ups. And, you know, she's just a unique kid that, you know, we shift our defense. We do a lot of things defensively to make it work because, you know, it's hard to go opposite field with her when she throws that slow. So we're glad we got her on our team, and, you know, she's the type of pitcher that a lot of people would probably shy away from, but I thought it would be a really good combination to have her and Cheyenne together, and it's proven to be that way.
And talking about the shift that you'll do with her, since hers are a little slower, what are the shift rules? I know the MLB has theirs. What is it in college?
We don't have anything, so luckily we can still do whatever we want. So we'll take our second baseman and put her on the shortstop side, shortstop way over there in the 5-6 hole, and we'll have 3 infielders on that side of the field. So, you know, if you're allowed to do it, we're going to do it, and I don't think they'll ever switch it in softball because you don't see it very often because pitchers like her are very, very rare.
And talking about that, we also have on the hitting side, Leilani Applin. She's already at 3 home runs through y'all's 10 games.
Yeah, Leilana's had an outstanding start. She went 10 for 15, I believe, her first weekend in Conroe, and was named the NFCA National Player of the Week. So a great honor, and she led the country in RBIs with 14 after that first weekend. 10 of her hits were extra base hits. I think she had 3 home runs, 2 triples, and 3 doubles. So she was a huge catalyst for what we were able to accomplish last weekend. And then, you know, was having another good weekend. Had a little injury. Had to miss Sunday and may miss a little bit this weekend, but it shouldn't be a long-term thing. Hopefully we'll be able to get her back soon, and because we definitely want her back in our lineup.
And then I was also looking at it. She her on-base percentage is around a .533, I believe. Having that with power and the extra base hits.
Yeah, we're doing it as a team. You know, it's not just her. We're really doing a good job of forcing people to throw us strikes, and we're not chasing out of the zone very often. As a team, we've drawn more walks than strikeouts, and we also lead the conference in hit by pitches. And so, you know, those free bases are big, and you know, we always talk about it. If a girl pitches in that batter's box, you can't let her get away with it. You got to turn and make sure that you know, you're on first base with a hit by pitch if she does that. Because if you let them pitch in there, then, you know, good ones will take advantage of you, and it's hard to barrel stuff up when it's always on your hands.
And talking about the team, everybody's really doing their part, and y'all are looking great. Y'all even beat number 21, Colorado Mesa. I know y'all are sitting at 11. How does it feel whenever you get to come into a season, just getting that ranking beforehand and then backing it up?
Well, you know, the preseason ranking at 11 kind of surprised me a little bit. They had us ahead of West Texas A&M, who won 50-something games last year and shared the league title. But they did graduate a bunch of players. Now they do have their top 2 pitchers back, but offensively they did lose a bunch. And we had so many returners that I guess whoever's on the committee determined that you know, that we earned that right to be up there. And I think we'll have a new ranking come out this week, and I expect us to be, because a lot of the teams that were in the top, they got beat multiple times. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're not setting 7, 6, somewhere like that this week. But you know, it's what we always say. It's rankings. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't win you games. You got to go out and play. But it's, you know, it's nice for these kids to get that recognition, and in the program to get the recognition that we deserve.
And then also, y'all got to host the Georgian Ola McCorkle Challenge. What's it like being able to get to host one of those yourselves?
Yeah, I think it's year 20 or 21. I've been here 22 years now, and started that thing shortly after being here. I don't remember exactly when, but you know, it's tough trying to get teams to come down here because we love Angelo State and we love San Angelo, but it is off the beaten path and it's not easy to get to. So, you know, luckily we were able to get Ouachita Baptist out of Arkansas to come, and Missouri Western, you know, they made the trip, and then International, A&M International's always come up. Coach Libby's always come up here since he started that program, and what a great tournament it was. Every game was a 1-run, 2-run game. We beat Ouachita Baptist 6-2, and that was the biggest margin of victory the whole weekend. So it was just it was a really great tournament. Of course, we had 86 degrees on Friday and 88 on Saturday, which was amazing, and huge crowds. It was just a really good tournament, and love still being able to honor George and Nola McCorkle for everything they've done for our program and for Angelo State as a whole.
And then talking about the weather, we got some nice weather last week, right in time for that. Whenever the weather maybe gets more like today, or the difference from it being warm, is there like a difference in some of the game planning?
Well, the biggest thing, the way our field sets is we get a south wind. Our field kind of sets the opposite way that it probably should. And, us in baseball are exactly the opposite. If it's blowing out at baseball, it's blowing in at our place. And, of course, it blows in most of the time because it comes out of the south most of the time. And that affects, the way you play the game and the way you recruit. So we got to make sure that we have speed on our team because we can't just sit and depend on the home run ball at our place because the wind's going to hold a lot of balls up. But then it did happen where Saturday evening you could see you could feel the front come through. The wind started gusting pretty strong out of the north, and now balls that get up can carry out of the ballpark. So, that's why we only have 4 home runs right now.
Yeah.
But one of them came Sunday. Tatiana got one up in the air, and it probably would have held up Friday and early Saturday with the wind blowing in, but with the wind blowing out, it was able to go ahead and get out of the ballpark. And it definitely, that wind more than anything changes the way we have to approach a game.
And then we were talking about how y'all are only at 4 home runs. What's the most you've ever seen in a season by one of your teams?
We hit 91, 2005, 6, somewhere in that area, 7. We had a young lady, Sandy James, that hits 20. She hit 25, and Macy Baker hit 18 or 19. Laura Lopez hit 17 or 18. We had a really powerful team that year, and it was a lot of fun. Because we didn't even talk about the home runs. They just went out. They may have had a little competition between themselves, but it was just a team that was dynamic. It was one of our World Series teams that it was definitely probably the most explosive offensive team we've ever had.
And then when you're recruiting, do you look more for maybe some more contact hitters or more power?
Well, both. I mean, we want to be able to have the kids that can hit for high average, and then we want some kids that can drive the ball out of the ballpark. And speed is something that is just as important, if not more important than anything, because I like to steal bases. Coach Brooks and I in baseball, we coach. We have exactly the same mentality. We want our teams to be able to bunt. We want to steal. We want to put pressure on people. Neither one of us, know that we're not going to sit around and wait on the home run. I think our fans hopefully appreciate the way we coach and the way our teams play hard and not just sit back and try to drive balls out of the ballpark, but instead try to create offense however we can. And that's I enjoy going watching them play because it's the same mentality that I would have, and we've talked about it, and it's like there's a reason why we're both successful probably is because we actually build teams and coach teams to create offense and put pressure on opponents.
And then talking about how you and Coach Brooks coach pretty similarly, how is it being able to, you see all the teams from the fall that had a great season.
Yeah.
Almost every team was winning the conference in the playoffs.
I've been here, this is my 22nd season, and this was by far the best fall that our athletic department has had. There were some lean years there for a while when I first got here, in the fall. But, man, what a great job, Coach McCorkle had the best year they've ever had in soccer and won a playoff game here at home and huge crowds. And then Coach Waddington making it to the Final Eight for the second time in his career, and just a really good run. I think they only lost 2 or 3 games all year. And then Coach Gersh again winning a conference championship. I know they were disappointed. I think we all were in that playoff game, but they're doing a great job. Barb Odell, Coach Odell's doing a great job with women's golf. Coach Potoff's doing a great job with tennis. We just really have a good group of coaches right now, and it starts at the top with President Hawkins and filters down to Coach Reed and everybody. And it's a good place to work, but it was definitely fun watching the success that happened here this fall.
And whenever the teams are all playing like that, is there a different feeling around the coaches' offices?
Well, probably, it's there's a lot more smiling than there is stuff being thrown around. So it's It's good, again, I just think we have a good group of coaches. Even if they were losing, they're going to handle themselves the right way. But it's always a good feeling when you know that everybody's had success. And if I run into a situation, I feel comfortable going into Coach Waddington's office or Coach Gersh's office and going, hey, what would you do? And same, they come to me, and it's good to be able to have each other to go bounce ideas off of.
And I know also you were talking earlier how your wife is your assistant coach. And
associate head coach.
Associate head coach. I better,
you
better get that one right.
right.
And we also, that's not the only case of that. We also have Coach Ellis and her husband are working together.
Yeah.
And Coach Potoff, his wife, is one of the trainers, I believe.
She's an athletic trainer, and then Coach Patel, our men's basketball coach, his wife is our compliance coordinator. So it's definitely a family atmosphere. And Katie and I have been doing this now for about 17 years together, I think. And she's doing a phenomenal job. She's our pitching coach. So you talk about the way our pitching staff is performing right now. That's her group, and she's a great pitch caller. And she challenges them in the bullpen quite often and puts them into pressure situations so that when they get into that on game day, they're prepared and they don't panic. So, proud of her and what she's doing. It's a lot of fun, having other couples in the athletic department. It's not just us, because for a while it was kind of like, is this normal? Is everybody looking at us weird? But now it's nothing now.
And so talking about that, is it sometimes maybe hard? I'm sure y'all try to keep the work here.
No, it's always piece of cake.
It's always piece of cake.
There's definitely, times where we disagree and have to, try to make sure that we balance that home and work life. And you never can get away from it completely, though. It's always there with text messages and emails and social media and all that. We're always having to, it's always could be a phone call away or an email away from snapping into dad mode or mom mode back to coach mode. So, we're blessed to be able to do it together. We do have a 5-year-old at home, so I don't know how much longer we'll be able to do it. Probably, I don't know. We'll see, because, he's starting to get into sports and liking athletics, and so when all that starts happening, we'll see what happens. But hopefully we can figure out a way to work and keep doing what we're doing.
And then, so I also wanted to know, you're a softball coach, but you probably never played college softball since it's...
Well, I played baseball, so it's pretty close to the same.
What was your playing career like? Well, how'd that lead you here?
I played for good coaches at Ardmore High School. Well, first of all, going back, my stepdad was a coach, and my uncle was a great coach. So I've been around athletics all my life, and just always been at the gym or the field. And my older brother, he's 5 years older than I. He loves sports, so we were always playing wiffle ball or basketball in the garage or something. And then my little brother, he's 5 years younger than me, so we'd throw him around a little bit as the young child. But no, sports is just it's a family thing. It's what we've always done, and I was able to have a good career. Won a state championship at Ardmore. Got fortunate enough to be able to go play for a legendary coach at Southeastern Oklahoma, and Mike Matheny, the all-time winningest coach in baseball. I've just had a lot of people that I've looked up to and mentored me and to get me into the position that I'm at. And I started out as a high school baseball coach and a assistant football coach. And by the way, you got 6th grade girls basketball, and I'm like, girls? I'm not coaching girls, and here I am still doing it. So it's kind of a long story, but did that for 7 years at the high school level, and then was able to get on at Southeastern. Got my feet wet there at Southeastern in the college ranks, and made the move down here, and here I am still.
So, Coach, you've been coaching here for 22 years here in San Angelo. What's really been the appeal that's kept you here so long?
Well, I think it starts with the people. Kathleen Bricefield, when she interviewed me years ago, she told me that that's what makes this place special, and she was right. We've got great donors, we've got great people to work with. My administration that I've worked for has been really good. So, it's just been a comfort zone. And then I came here with young kids. They were 4 and 2, I think, when we first got here. So it got to the point where once they got old enough and they'd started, with their friends and all that, that I decided I didn't want to move them. So yeah, I wanted to be able to keep them here at Central High School, and they had great athletic careers and all that good stuff. So it's just been the people mainly, and it's now my home.
And we talk about what it kept you here, but you also got to bring in players, and sometimes the people that might not sell for a high school girl. What do you use to get them to come down here?
Well, we use whatever we can without lying. We want to be upfront and honest with them about everything, and we do talk about the travel, the distance from home, and all that. So we want to be upfront and honest, but we also use the people in a positive way. Of course, our facilities help. Now, the Lone Star Conference, everybody's building great facilities now, so that can't hold as much weight as it used to. And I think the family relationships, having my wife as associate head coach, we talk a lot. We have a motto that we've used forever of pride, tradition, family within our softball program. We want them to take pride in themselves and their family that they came from. We want them to uphold the tradition of Angelo State softball. And then we want to treat each other like family, and we tell them up front. That means that if you need a hug, we can give you a hug, and if you need a kick in the butt, I'll kick you in the butt. So, I think people appreciate that, and I think being a dad and her being a mom, and I think that gives a comfort to a lot of people. And then, I think one of the biggest things right now is just my longevity here, and it's not because a lot of coaches are bouncing around, and they want to know that when their daughter gets there, it's still going to be that coach that recruited them.
And then some people, they see you and all they think is just Coach Travis Scott, but you have a life outside of softball. Sometimes, not much, but what are maybe some things, if you do get some of that free time, what do you find yourself doing?
Well, Katie and I both love the water, so we live in a community that has a pool. We spend a lot of time in there. I used to have a boat on Lake Nasworthy, but got tired of pumping money into that thing, so got rid of it. And, it's mainly family, I do have grandkids now, so that's a new thing that's going to occupy a little bit of time. One of them's in New Braunfels, and one of them is over in the Stephenville area. So make a little bit of a recruiting trip and then go see them or whatever, and spend some time with them. But as much as anything, I don't golf, I don't play tennis, I don't really have any hobbies outside of athletics or softball. So yeah, that's pretty much our life in a nutshell.
I know Coach McCorkle, he likes to play pickleball. He hasn't gotten you to come do that with him
We
yet?
did it this last summer, actually. My wife loves it. She wanted to play pickleball, and this knee didn't like hard surfaces anymore. So, yeah, I don't know. Something's going on in there, but it started with the pickleball court this summer. So I still do a lot of work on practices. I still pitch to the girls every day and, hit on fungo and all that. So I had to shut the pickleball down, but McCorkle's good, and Coach Potoff's good. We found that out the hard way.
The tennis coach, he'll get you in pickleball.
Too, yeah.
Do you have anything with the coaches? Do y'all ever have anything y'all will do here up at the offices or anything?
Not too much. I mean, we just have meetings every month, and we'll have some get-togethers, Christmas and all that. Have some potlucks, but most of us are family people, and that's where our non-coaching time goes to is the kiddos and all that. So, you try to make some time, but at the same time, it is what it is.
And so, Coach, we're getting here near the end of it. I just want to say good luck on the rest of your season, off to a hot start, but we're starting Lone Star Conference now, one of the toughest Division II conferences in all of America.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I just want to say good luck, Coach. Thanks for coming on. Guys, this will be the end of this week's episode of Ramzone. Come back next week, and we'll have Coach Kevin Brooks, the baseball coach, in here, and we'll be interviewing him.